Big Name Investing Group. It is Jess here. This video is going to be on Fibonacci placement. This is an updated video. There are some gray areas when it comes to Fibonacci placement. So I have revised this video so all of the steps are super clear and you can confidently place your Fibonacci on your charts. Stick around to the end because there's a little bonus content where we're going to quickly go over RSI. And how you can incorporate this indicator is super easy to use. You can incorporate RSI into your overall strategy. So let's get right into it here. So the general rule for Fibonacci placement is you're going to pick the most recent confirmed trend. We are going to go to the charts. I'm going to review what a trend is, how you know a trend has confirmed, and also keep in mind that if you can pick a longer trend, that is going to give you a stronger Fibonacci. And we're going to go straight to the charts and review all of that so you can see that on the physical chart itself. Additional factors that can affect your placement. So this can affect what trend you're picking and also what time frame you're picking. And for the most part, what is going to affect that is your personal strategy. So say you have a shorter term strategy, you may pick a shorter trend. It's going to give you smaller options, but you may decide to pick a shorter trend versus a long-term strategy. You may pick a longer trend. Also, your strength of desire to purchase into the company. So you may just really want to invest in the company. You want to get a little bit of a cheaper price. You do have the option of choosing a smaller trend as opposed to a larger trend. Now, if you're not too keen on investing in the company, but you would prefer to buy at lower levels, then that would be the longer trend option. So you can adjust this based on your personal strategy and your personal goals. So we're going to go over to the chart here, and spoiler alert, I did already have it on here. We're going to remove that. Okay, so this is SPX. First, we're going to go over what a trend is. A trend is the direction the stock is moving. A trend has confirmed when the direction changes or reverses to another direction. So that could be an uptrend reversing to a downtrend. It could be a downtrend reversing to a sideways trend. It just has to change direction. So if we're looking at SPX on the weekly chart, we see we have an uptrend here. This uptrend confirmed when it reversed to a downtrend. And we see this trend is longer than this trend. So when you're picking your trends for your Fibonacci, you are picking previous trends. And what you can do is based on your strategy, you can place your Fibonacci on these trends and see, number one, we're going to go over key psychological levels. So which trend captures those key psychological levels more accurately? And also, what is your strategy? So where do you want to buy in? Do you want those lower levels where this trend would give you lower buying levels? Or is it shorter term where you want closer to market price? Okay, so that's where that personal aspect comes into play. Whenever you're placing your Fibonacci, you are going to click at the area that you want to start. If it's an uptrend, you're clicking from the bottom and dragging to the top. Now see how this is hitting on what key psychological levels are. If you've attended our step-by-step sessions, there are areas where the stock keeps hitting off of whether it's hitting up and bouncing off or hitting down and bouncing off. But it's levels that the stock keeps hitting. So we see that these are very common levels where the stock keeps hitting, and these would be key psychological levels. So this would be appropriate and would be working when it comes to integrating key psychological levels. And the reason Fibonacci works so well is because other investors are using it too. So they are most likely using these previous trends as well. And then some buying and selling can be attributed to using this indicator. Now, let's say you have a shorter term strategy and you would prefer to use this downtrend here. So we're going to remove that and we're going to use this downtrend. That's giving us closer, tighter areas. We're going to look at the difference in prices here. So this is 4,118, 3,965, 3,752. Then we have some lower levels and they're more spread apart on this longer trend. So that's where your strategy is going to come into play. Here's where the gray area comes in. When a company has dropped significantly, you may have to create, I wanted to go over one more thing. Duplicating the fib. We do get a good amount of questions involving that. So I want to quickly show you how to do that. Why would you want to duplicate a fib and place it on top? You would want to do that in order to see where the company could go if it continues growing at the same rate. And how you do that is you will click your fib again, make one right next to yours that you just made by duplicating it, drag it on top, and you're going to have to take it off auto in order to see it. And then you can see levels that it could hit in the future if it continues growing at the same rate. Now, again, your strategy is going to come into play. Say you have, and these are levels where you may not be necessarily setting your sell limit orders because this is a long term. But say you have a shorter term strategy, you want to use this time frame and then duplicate it and see where it could go more in the near term. That's an option as well. So you can cater it to your personal strategy. And that is how you duplicate the fib. So here's the gray area that we're going to go over, and that is if a stock has dropped so significantly that there's no previous trends to use. So we're going to use sort of a newer, higher risk company here that has dropped significantly as an example. So as you see here, they IPO'd around the $1.62 range, or no, $10.55 range, and they have dropped to $1.62. If we're using any of these previous trends, it's not going to give us ideas of where to buy at lower prices because it's at an all-time low. So in that case, I'm going to switch over to the daily chart so this is more visible because there is very low trading volume here. So the candles are very small, and I want this to be more visible. It's disappearing here. Okay. Let me take RSI out for a sec. And I'm going to reset so we can see this better. Okay, let me switch to the daily just so it's easier to see this trend here. Okay, so what happens when it drops to an all-time low? You can pick a shorter trend. You're gonna want to go with a shorter trend because if this continues to drop, we just want to get a shorter trend, duplicate it, bring it lower, and then if it continues trending in that direction, then you have ideas of buying at lower prices. So let's take this small downtrend here. This is not a confirmed trend. This is a small trend within this current downtrend. And we're just, if we assume that it's going to continue dropping, this can be an area of where we can buy at lower prices. I'm duplicating that, I'm bringing it down. And then that gives us areas here, 151, 141. So ideas of where we could buy at lower prices because we don't have that previous trend to use. So we're duplicating it and dropping it lower. Now we're going to go over RSI and we're going to quickly see, typing in there. We're going to quickly see how that works. So I'm going to bring it up on my chart here. It is very simple. RSI, just like Ichimoku, Fibonacci, uses math, and it tracks the buying and selling of stocks. How you're going to read RSI is down here. If RSI is trending lower, close to 30 and below, that can indicate the stock is oversold and can indicate a potential for the stock to reverse and go up. So the stock price could go up. So if you see the RSI down here, that could mean that the stock price could rise. If you see RSI up above 70 or higher, that could indicate the stock is overbought and a reversal to the downside. So if you see RSI up here, that means the stock price could drop and reverse to the downside. And that is it. So I use RSI a lot in my swing trading strategy. It is very simple to use, and that is how you read the RSI indicator. So if you have any questions, if anybody has any questions on Fibonacci placement on RSI, please drop them below this video in the Premium Investing Group Facebook group, and we can answer any of your questions. And as always, happy investing.